Barbershop starts in the obviously present day, and Calvin has combined his shop with Angie's. So it's the guys are on one side and the women are on the other. So it's a new dynamic in the shop, and we're also dealing a lot with the gang violence in Chicago. In a sense, Ice Cube, from Boys in the Hood, was a gangbanger or close to being a gangbanger in that movie. And he, in this movie, is playing the Furious Styles role that was, played by Lawrence Fishburne, trying to keep his son away from the gangs and the gang violence because his son is being recruited by the gangs. Ice Cube and I met face to face, and I was just really flattered by how much he wanted me to helm the project. I have a great deal of respect for him. He's been a veteran in this business for a very long time, and I loved working with him. And after that initial meeting, he was passionate about working with me, and so I couldn't say no. And the script was right, and I just signed on. And that was the one thing I really wanted to do in this movie was, despite the kind of social issues that we were talking about gun violence, especially in the inner cities of Chicago, you can't set a movie right now in modern day without talking about gun violence in Chicago. I mean, in America, there's such a gun violence problem, but certainly in Chicago, there's more deaths per capita, than any place else in the United States, and we had to deal with that. But at the same time, I never want the audience to forget that they're in a comedy. So, we always want to keep the laughs going, no matter how heavy or serious it gets. My goal in it was setting the right tone for the movie, and I got a lot of support from Ice Cube, who's not just the star, but the producer on the movie. And, he gave me a great respect and great freedom to do what I wanted to do and needed to do in the movie. But at the same time, was great with ideas and inserting what he thought would work great for a particular line or a particular part of the film or a particular scene. And it was never about ego. It was always about what's best for the film. And that was like a tremendous feeling to have that kind of support on set. And not only Q, but Cedric was just that great veteran presence as well. He set the tone very, very early on. He said, listen, for all you newcomers, welcome aboard, but don't F this up. We got a good franchise here. And I knew partly he was kind of probably talking to me too, but he was addressing the cast, and I was like, okay, I hear you. And I had no intention of doing that. I think it's a challenging movie. I think, the secret to these barbershop films is that it tackles everything. It is funny, by and large. We do talk about social issues, social concerns. It's a place where kids can feel safe, where they can read, where they can do their homework, where the barber's gonna take a look at your kids before they go out into the world, or if you got to drop them off, it's a place for them to be.